Hi, this is James Gordon-Octoli here with the third book in the October Terror series. The book I'll be talking about today, Madmen by Starlin and Daina Graziunas. This is from Rock, and this was first published in April 1990 with illustrations by Starlin. This was not a really good book. I was really disappointed with this one. When I first discovered this book, it was pretty much kind of like predated Garth Ernest's Cross series, if anyone's heard of that, which is a really messed up graphic novel about a virus that gets released and it causes people to become known as the Cross, that causes them to attack anyone who's not infected and stuff. That's what this novel reminded me of, kind of like an early version of it, but I felt this novel had a really interesting idea, but it was not well executed, and there's really no likable characters in the story, and the main character himself makes some really bad decisions which lead to the death of others, and does some questionable things as well, and I was just really let down with this novel. While it's it's highly detailed and well written with some really good illustrations, but I just felt this novel was not well executed. I felt it could have been so much better, and I couldn't believe how fast I read through this book. I read this entire thing in one sitting. That's how this is like a 200, what is this? This is 200. This is 268 pages, but because the pacing is so fast, you can read this book in one sitting, and the segments are really short, so it moves at a very fast pace. So I was able to read this book in a full sitting last night. I wasn't originally going to. I was just going to get a good start on it, but since I was like already halfway through the book, I thought, well, I might as well finish it, and I'm glad I did, because I did not enjoy this book at all. I felt it could have been so much better. I felt like that, like I said, Amon Madmen had some really interesting ideas, but I felt they were not well executed, and a lot of missed opportunities in the book. Like, there were several parts I was expecting to see in this book, but I didn't get any of that. And there was like one scene where it teases this like major event, but it doesn't happen, and I was like, "Are you shitting me? You could have." If the offer went the direction I wanted the scene to go in, it would have made it so much better, but unfortunately they didn't. And I'll explain more about my problems and issues with this novel. Alright, onto the book review. Plot. A sudden event has caused everyday people to suddenly become hostile and violent towards others, dubbed berserkers by survivors, as there's also gangs of raiders who attack anyone, while causing mass destruction to cities and towns, stealing anything they can, leaving those who haven't been driven insane, defending for themselves, and cops banding together to restore law and order. Tom Laker recounts the events, starting with the death of his father in a car accident on his high school graduation. This event was difficult for Tom and his family. He and his father were close, as neither his friends or family members could help him get through this dark event. Tom then gets a letter from the government, as he's going to fight in the Vietnam War. While some would dread this or even attempt to flee the country, Tom accepts, and after training he makes through his tour as he returns home in time before his mother dies from breast cancer. His two brothers are strangers to him. They drift apart, going their own ways. After the war, he becomes a cop in New York City, where he meets his wife Marie. Despite what the city throws at Tom, it doesn't stop him, as he takes on some of the worst criminals ever. Suddenly, a strange event begins happening when people begin acting out in sudden acts of violence, which causes the crime rate to increase so badly to the point where a state of emergency is declared on the city, with National Guard called in. Tom takes Marie, along with his bloodhound mixed dog Rex, to the Catskills to be safe, along with aiding the small police force in Shanigan. Tom knows the city is doomed to be taken over by criminals and psychopaths. Scientists believe a virus is causing this event, which they call it Schizophrenia X. However, they are unable to find a way to stop it from spreading or finding a cure. His wife Marie, who acts herself but can become hostile without warning. Tom returns home to find Marie has murdered a man named Keith Leeper with a knife stabbed in his back. Marie sitting outside next to a tree. He's trying to keep his murderous wife a secret from the townspeople, and has had made a soundproof room to keep her locked up when she suddenly goes berserk. While speeding down the empty highway on patrol with Rex, he spots a fire out in the field. Tom goes to check it out, armed with with his shotgun and 45 automatic pistol. Rex stays behind in his cruiser. Upon reaching the crime scene, Tom finds a man with his head blown off and a topless woman who's been assaulted. He goes to leave when he checks back to see her leg is moving. Returning to check on the woman, he is nearly shot in the face by a .22 caliber pistol as the bullet takes off a chunk of his right ear. He fires his pistol, exploding her chest as 4 men suddenly appear and try to kill him. Tom quickly kills the first 2 with his shotgun and blocks the 3rd man armed with a machete, then uses his pistol, killing him. Tom wounds the 4th man and finishes him up as sees another woman appear as she tries escaping him. He punches her hard across the face and flees in the Dodge camper van. Tom returns to his cruiser and leaves the area. Later on, Tom and 2 other men try trading fuel for supplies with the nearby town, but it doesn't go well, with a shootout happening, causing mistrust with the mayor. While Tom is trying to keep law and order within the town of Shanakin and its remaining residents safe, however, there's a serial killer on the loose that's claiming victims passing by between the 2 towns. Tom tries having patrols watch the area to see if they can catch the killer, but have no luck. Marie's outburst of violence is getting worse, as no matter what Tom tries, she can't control herself, and it isn't long till the mayor discovers his wife has murdered over 11 men and is going to kick them out of town. As the days go by, things only get worse when more and more residents suddenly become berserkers, forcing Tom and the others to kill them, causing more tension with everyone. Then one of the scouts spots a group of raiders coming this way as the men are heavily armed. The mayor orders Tom to leave with his wife at once, but refuses and threatens to kill him if he doesn't allow him to aid against the raiders. Against the mayor's wishes, allows Tom to help, but warns him they will watch his wife closely, and should she try to flee, they'll hunt her down. As Tom faces against a large number of raiders with only a few cops left, he's about to make a shocking discovery who the serial killer is, while questioning his insanity, believing one day he too will become a berserker. Madmen was a dull and mostly boring horror novel. Despite being well written and highly detailed illustrations by Jim Starlin, wasn't enough to save it. It had an interesting idea of people suddenly becoming violent, but felt it was not well executed. Most of the fights were residents with itchy trigger fingers or an argument over the slightest thing. When we do see the berserkers, it's mostly men within the town, as they cause the population to drop, while the main character is heavily criticized for keeping his murderous wife alive. He also makes poor choices which leads to the death of others and nearly gets himself killed a few times. The berserkers, I felt, weren't well thought out, as the idea of anybody could be a ticking time bomb waiting to go off with no signs or symptoms just made it feel plain and no real tension to it, and how Tom and some of the other cops dealt with the residents becoming berserkers was either putting them down or kicking them out of town. I wish the authors went in with more thought of this and fleshed out better ideas on the berserkers. I also was disappointed by the lack of raiders within the novel that don't appear to the very end. The characters describe things happening outside of the town and not much is known what's going on or what's happening, as not a lot is shown, and the subplot of the serial killer revealed to be a man who shown signs of violence towards those around him, clearly pointing him out as being a berserker, were ignored until Tom discovered who it was at the end of the novel, which left me shaking my head. I was expecting more from this novel, along with reading scenes of riots, mass destruction, along with people going on killing sprees, but we don't get any of that. And why Tom risked his life to be with Marie, who's trying to kill him, along with covering up her murders, is beyond me. His efforts to try and cure her violence with love never works, as it nearly cost him several times. Overall, I don't recommend Madmen. It doesn't really offer a lot, nor have any likable characters or lots of mayhem, carnage, and violence. There are many other novels, even graphic novels, that are way better than this one. Alright, that's the review today. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah, I was really let down with Madmen. I thought it had a lot of really interesting ideas and a really interesting concept, but it wasn't really well fleshed out, and the berserkers I felt were not well executed, as you don't know, like, they don't display, like, the only sign that that a person might be berserker is that they lash out in violence more towards others, and a lot of times, a lot of the characters just ignore this within the town. It's just brushing off as people just being, like, having a bad headache or being miserable, and I thought, are people really that dumb in this book? Like, I just felt a lot of characters made a lot of poor choices in the book, especially Tom Laker, the main character. I just wish there was a I wish like the authors thought of having a type of like illness or something that shows a person is like a berserker. Like in Cross, for example, when a person is infected, they got this cross on their face, so you know that they're infected, insane, or something like 20 Days Later is another one where you got people infected with a virus known as rage, and this causes them to lash out in anger. You can see symptoms of when a person is infected. So like something on those lines. And another book that comes to mind is James Herbert's The Fog, which is another one where when people are affected by this like gas, which is called a fog, uh, they become like more worse looking and stuff. So I just wish this book had like when these people that are infected by this virus or whatever, as it's never explained in the book what's causing it. It would show signs that they're a berserker, like they look terrible, they're like sick, or some other type of sign or something other than people becoming like hostile towards everyone. I just felt it could have been so much better executed. While there, it's highly like it's very well written. I would say the writing is good. The writing is very good. It's very detailed. The illustrations were very nice touch to the story, but I felt the pacing was too fast. Like I felt it went by too fast to the point where you can read through this book in one sitting if you don't really have anything to do. You could read through like in one sitting because that's how fast the pacing is. I wish it was a bit more slower so they could like feature more scenes of like carnage, mayhem, destruction, and even more background on some of the characters, as it's very brief description on some of these characters. The one scene I felt was a complete tease is this one part where Tom Laker is recounting the events leading up to where he is now in the story, where a high-ranking general believed that this event was caused by the Russians and is threatening to launch all the nuclear warheads into Russia. However, and I thought, ooh, are we gonna get like some like nuclear destruction in this book? This part is only teased for a few minutes until the character says that basically a person was able to get crawl for the air shaft and kill this general before he can launch the nukes, and then United States and Russia agreed to disband all their nuclear arms and bombs and stuff. And I was like, really? You're gonna tease us with this one scene, and then you're gonna have the two sides like prevent each other from attacking each other at this point? Because I thought this would have made things interesting, because then I thought, okay, is this going to lead to like a nuclear like holocaust or something, like a nuclear holocaust in World War III? But no, we don't get any of that. And then I thought, okay, are we going to get at least some scenes of like news clips showing the destruction happening around the world? No, we don't get any of that either. So that was, I thought, another missed opportunity with the story. And for the most part, I just felt this whole book was boring. Like, it's just, I thought basically it's like this town is like walled itself off from the rest of the world and stuff, and basically the residents are trying to keep the berserkers from getting in along with raiders and stuff. But most of the time it's just the main character dealing with the residents who suddenly become violent and act aggressive towards others, and that's it. It isn't until near the end where finally a group of raiders show up, but they don't even put up much of a fight, and I was really kind of let down by that. And I just overall found the story boring. There was not really much I liked about it. And I really did not like the main character at all, along with several others. The main character I really disliked. He makes a lot of stupid, dumb decisions, which costs the lives of others, and he is constantly trying to find a way to cure his wife, which nearly cost him his life several times. And the fact he's covering up his wife's murders and stuff, and I thought, what are you doing? Why are you keeping her alive? I don't get this. I really just did not like this character at all. And then the subplot of the serial killer that's running around town that's killing people, which is causing more tension with the nearby town, thinking that it's one of their own that's murdering their residents, which is leading to further fights. And then it's revealed it's this cop character who who had signs that he was a berserker, but the main character and everyone else just ignored him until the very end, and I just left shaking my head. I thought, are you kidding me? Is everyone seriously this stupid? And it isn't until the very end where Tom puts the serial killer down, and I thought this was a really stupid subplot, as it really just wrecked the story. And when the main character discovers where the serial killer has been hiding out, I thought, how has anyone not found this like area that he's been hiding in? It's like within the town. I didn't get that. So yeah, this was overall not a good book. I felt it had an interesting idea, but a lot of missed opportunities, not well executed ideas and concepts that could have played out into a much bigger grand event that would have made this book so much better if it only went that direction. And more likable characters would have been nice too. Like, there was a few characters that I was starting to like, but I don't get to know. But the book doesn't really go into much detail about them, like very little, so I don't know much about them. And really dislike the main character a lot, along with some others. And I wish there was more likable characters that would have made this interesting. And there's not. Like, the book goes into a little detail on the other characters we come to know, but that's it. It doesn't really talk much about them and stuff. And I felt like the authors could have really fleshed out some characters here in this story to make it more better, but they give them like very brief detail and stuff. And the one character I felt was interesting was Tom's dog Rex that he has for a bit. However, his beloved pet runs away from him towards the end of the book. I thought that was a character I actually kind of liked that he had with him, and I was hoping to have like some scenes where Rex like defends him from a berserker or attacks like a raider or something. Like, again, we don't get any of that. So yeah, this book is a complete dud if you ask me. And there are way better books that have this have like a better there are better novels out there that have a concept like this where a virus or event causes people to go suddenly violent and attack others. Like Garth Ernest's Cross series is one. James Herbert's The Fog is another, and another book that I know that has that kind of that predates James Herbert's The Fog is The Gas, which is a book I'll have to read to see if that's any good or not. And there's many others I found that have the same idea, but that look well better executed than a Madmen. Alright, that's for the review today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like it, share it, and please don't forget to subscribe to October Library YouTube channel and the Facebook group with the same name. And please push your review of fiction. Until then, I'll catch you later.